All right, so it is time. Let's get started. Welcome to this webinar on partnership opportunities with Bayer G4A. My name is Christina Habeck. I'm working for the Bayer G4A team, and I will guide you through this webinar today. Let's get started by having a look on today's plan so we know what's ahead. We're going to start by taking a bit of a broader angle, looking at our takeaways for digital health innovators from the COVID-19 crisis. We're doing this to provide you with more of a background why we are focusing on certain areas this year and what is important for us when we look into partners. Afterwards, we're going into depth about the partnership opportunities that digital health innovators have with Bayer G4A. And in the end, the most important aspect, the Q&A with the Bayer G4A team. So while I'm going through these slides, you can already type in all your questions into the chat, and they will be asked during the Q&A. All right, but let's get started with our takeaways for digital health innovators from the COVID-19 crisis. What we observed during the pandemic is that there was really a push and pull dynamic that accelerated digital health. We had on the push side that COVID-19 really spurred a momentum for digital health. We saw that digital health adoption increased and that a mindset shift was installed among consumers. On the other hand, we also saw a pull side of things. COVID-19 really revealed and increased the need for digital health. Once again, we saw that social determinants are still affecting health status. We saw the health economics challenge escalate, and we clearly saw a need for integrated care during the pandemic. And next to these general aspects, we also saw an increasing need for digital health solutions in 4 specific fields, which are cardiovascular conditions, mental health, women's health, and oncology. Let's start with the push side of things. We saw that a lot more people use digital health tools during the pandemic. This holds true for the telehealth and virtual care sector, where we saw that 44% of people use new devices or apps to help manage their conditions remotely, but it also holds true for the mobile health applications, where we saw a 25% download rise, for instance, in the UK since the beginning of the pandemic. And what is also super interesting to note about this is that next to the increased adoption, people were also more likely and more willing to track their healthcare data digitally. So the proportion of people doing so increased by 16 percentage points. Now, of course, the question arises, okay, this was during the pandemic, but what is after when everything turns back to normal? What we believe is that digital health is here to stay. We have good reason to believe so because there are studies that say 25% of the users actually plan to continue their telehealth and virtual care services. And there's also findings that a current use of technology increase the appetite for future technology. Next to the increased adoption, we also saw that COVID-19 shaped a new generation of empowered health consumers with a different mindset. We saw that patients became more empowered. So the vast majority of people considers it important to take their health in their own hand as a result of the pandemic, and that even mirrors in their willingness to engage in do-it-yourself care. 85% of people are very or somewhat likely to engage in DIY care as a result of the crisis. We also saw that people are more invested into their own health, both financially. So we saw that 20% of people have increased their healthcare coverage in response to the crisis, but also mentally. A majority of consumers also seeks to improve their health as a response to the pandemic. We also saw that people considered health more important, they were more concerned about it, and they were more likely to include it in their day-to-day decision-making, more likely to want to make informed decisions about their health and have information about their health status. And fourth, we also saw that the trust in the digital healthcare increased during the pandemic. More consumers are willing to share personal data as a result of the crisis, and also the trust in virtual doctors accelerated under COVID-19. This was the push side of things. Now, looking at the pull side of things, we also saw COVID-19 revealing a clear need for digital health solutions. we saw that social determinants of health were largely affecting health status during the crisis. In the US, for instance, Black people were twice as likely to die due to COVID-19 compared to white people. And this effect of social determinants is not a US-only problem. Also in Europe, in Germany, the mortality in deprived areas was 50 to 70% higher. We also saw the health economics challenge escalate during the crisis. There is a huge amount of incremental annual US healthcare system costs coming at us due to deferred or canceled treatments, due to longer-term unknown health impacts. So really this immensely increasing costs create a need for new, more productive healthcare solutions. And then we also saw an increasing need for integrated care. We saw how important it is that healthcare providers cooperate with each other, for instance, nursing homes or hospitals. We saw how important it is to see physical and mental health as a whole and not in silos. And we became hugely aware of the importance of real-time usable data to make informed healthcare decisions. So the pandemic here really revealed the pain points of our healthcare systems. And what we believe is that digital health can play a vital role in closing these gaps, and probably the key role in closing these gaps to create equity, sustainability, and access for all when it comes to healthcare. And we want digital health to play a role here. All right, let me go on if it lets me. Here we go, I'm sorry. Next to this general increasing need for digital health solutions, we also saw a specific increasing need for new solutions in 4 disease areas: in cardiovascular health, oncology, women's health, and mental health. For cardiovascular, it is important to note that a lot of prevention and self-care in this area got postponed or neglected during the crisis. And that is why we expect higher rates of chronic cardiovascular diseases after the crisis. And next to these long-term effects, we actually also see immediate effects, because a lot of COVID survivors have developed comorbidities that require treatment for cardiovascular conditions. One of the most pressing ones here is actually diabetes, where we saw that 14.4% of people hospitalized with severe COVID develop diabetes. So, and they need new treatment options now. So we think that digital health can really play a role there in delivering these options. A similar picture can be drawn for oncology, where we saw that a lot of diagnoses got delayed during the crisis. The cancer incidence in a lot of developing countries, developed countries, decreased immensely. And that is unfortunately not because there was less cancer, it is because less cancer was diagnosed. And now it is expected that a lot more of these cases will be diagnosed at a later, more complicated stage. And this expectation is also mirrored in our expectation that the spending for oncology will grow immensely in the next years. So we will have a lot of cancer cases at late stage with poor outcomes, where we need more complex, more specific treatment options, where digital health, of course, should also play a role in delivering these. We also saw mental health, and that is no secret, that the mental health status of a lot of people decreased during the crisis. In the US, 4 in 10 adults have reported symptoms of anxiety and depressive disorders during the pandemic. And what is most concerning about that is that the suicidality is significantly higher among young people, racial minorities, and Black population. So traditionally, these groups that have also low access to healthcare and need treatment for their mental health conditions. So we also believe that here really is a need for digital health solutions. And fourth, women's health, which has not been discussed widely in the public, but is a concerning issue during the crisis. We saw that women have been more likely to go without healthcare during the pandemic, and this concerning development is expected to continue after the crisis because the female job loss rate was much higher than the male job loss rate. And often healthcare is tied to healthcare, and health insurance is tied to employment. So we expect that a lot of women will actually have to go without healthcare as well after the crisis. So why am I telling you all this, and what does this have to do with Bayer G4A? Bayer G4A aims to build partnerships that build upon the momentum that was created for digital health in COVID-19 and that address the needs revealed during the pandemic. So we really want to build partnerships that do something for health for all, for equity, for sustainability and access to health. And how we're doing this is that we're building partnerships that can range from commercial partnerships over co-creation, M&A, late-stage investments, early-stage acceleration and investments, to early-stage acceleration and investments. And to provide you with a more clear picture of what we're doing, let's go to this slide. So our offer can be divided in two tracks that we're actually offering. We offer a growth track, which is more of our acceleration track. This track is suitable for startups that are C to Series A and that already have a minimal viable product with ongoing validation or published findings. What you get out of this track as a company participating, you get a 20 to 100K convertible loan investment. You get co-working spaces in Berlin. Of course, this is dependent on the pandemic situation as well. And most important, you get mentorship by Bayer executives and valuable coaching by Bayer and external industry experts. This is more of our track for early stage companies. And then we have the advanced track, which is our commercial partnership track, which is suitable for Series A and above startups who already have published validation and clinical studies and have their solution on the market already. So who have traction with users or consumers or even customers or even revenue. What you get out of this track is largely dependent on your situation and is negotiated individually. So we're mostly going into commercial partnerships with companies in these tracks that can range from commercial deals to co-creation, joint ventures, and investments. So it's really dependent on the individual negotiation and what is most suitable for both partners here. And of course, you get to be part of our wide network and collaboration network with many digital health stakeholders. Let's have a look at the solutions that we're looking for this year. We're looking for partners that are actually delivering solutions in certain fields. And these fields are this year cardiovascular, women's health, mental health, oncology, and radiology. And for each of these fields, we have specific challenges where we're looking for solutions. For cardiovascular, we have 3 challenges. The first one would be the lifestyle behavior change challenge, where we're looking for behavior change solutions that reduce the progression of cardiometabolic diseases. And we're looking for behavior change solutions that are addressing the risk factors of cardiometabolic diseases, like, for instance, sleep health. The second challenge is patient monitoring and digital biomarkers, where we're looking for solutions that help monitor patients' disease progression and treatment effectiveness of cardiometabolic patients. And we're also looking for solutions that are developing new biomarkers to predict the risk for cardiometabolic diseases and acute events where medical intervention may be needed. The third challenge in the cardiovascular bucket is the social support challenge, where we're looking for solutions and companies that help individuals with a risk of cardiometabolic diseases or who actually are already patients or affected by cardiometabolic diseases to connect with each other and to engage with each other and to benefit from social support. Then we have the women's health bucket, where we have two challenges, starting with the screening and diagnosis and improvement of bone health challenge, where we're looking for solutions to assess the risk for osteoporosis and help diagnosing osteoporosis. We're also looking for solutions that prevent bone deterioration and actually improve bone health. And then as a second challenge, we have the screening and diagnosis of PCOS and endometriosis challenge, where we're looking for digital health solutions that help screening and diagnosing these two conditions. We're also offering a mental health bucket and a mental health challenge, where we're looking for solutions and platforms that help manage and improve mental health and wellness. And then we have the oncology bucket, where we're looking for, first of all, digital validation of performance status measurements and quality of life. So we're here really looking for digital solutions to calculate patient performance status or the quality of life. And these solutions should also be able to support valid measures of, for instance, daily activity, breathing patterns, all these indications that are important for cancer patients. And we have the oncology digital biomarkers and patient identification challenge, where we're looking for solutions that identify patients for specific cancer therapies through digital biomarkers. And we're focusing here on the cancer types: lung cancer, breast cancer, prostate cancer, colorectal cancer, and gastrointestinal stromal tumors. And last but not least, we have the radiology bucket, where we're looking for digital health solutions and AI that helps to detect early, screen, and identify abdominal aortic aneurysms. So these are the solutions we're looking for. And this, sorry, I have again a problem with going up. All right, here we go, sorry. If this sounds appealing to you, we would be more than happy to receive your application for our 2021 G4A partnership programs. If you want to apply, please keep in mind that the deadline for applications is the June 20th. And if you want to apply, you have to just go through 3 steps. You first have to find out which track is actually suitable for your company. So if you're more of an early stage company, it's probably the growth track. If you're more of a late stage or mature company, it's probably the advanced track. As a second step, you have to explore the challenges that I've just presented to you. You can also find them on our website and then have a look if your solution of your company is actually addressing one of these challenges. If it is addressing multiple of these challenges, that's even better. We also take applications for multiple challenges. And then you have to go to our website, where you just hit the apply button, and then you can complete an online form, which will take approximately 30 minutes. And that will be the application. That is it. So yeah, we will be happy to receive your application. And if you have any questions, you can ask us now during the Q&A that we're just going to have with Sophie Park and Bayer G4A from our team. Or you can also contact us later via social media, via mail, via our website, if you have any questions left. And with that being said, I would like to hand over to the Q&A with Sophie and Bharat.
Great, thank you. Thanks, Christina. As we're waiting for the questions to come in. Oh, there we go. Okay.
Awesome.
Bharat, do you want to take it?
Yeah, I can take this. What stages of solution are we looking for? So as Christina mentioned, we have 2 tracks, growth track and advanced track. So in the growth track program, we are looking for more early stage startups or companies which have a minimal viable product, and usually in the range of seed stage to Series A, with an ongoing validation of published findings. And for our advanced track program, we're looking for more mature companies who already have a product in the market, have traction, have users, and also are already generating revenue. What type of business models are we looking for? you want to
Should
take
I
this,
take
Sophie?
it for? Yeah,
Yeah.
sure. We're business model agnostic. I mean, I think most importantly, what we're really looking for are solutions that fit very closely to our challenges and seeing what kind of traction you guys have with the users. But in terms of business models, I mean, we're super flexible when it comes to that. I mean, we look at, direct to consumer, whether that's B2C or B2B or even B2B2C. So we actually don't care what kind of business model you have, but as long as it's, sustainable and that you can show that it works, we're really flexible on whatever it is. How can I apply?
How can I apply? So we are accepting applications from our application actually opened on April 19th, and we're accepting them until June 20th. The applications will be open for you to submit your solution through our platform. You can find it by going to our website and clicking on the apply button. You will need to fill out an online form in which you will be able to provide all sorts of information about your company, about your solution, upload a pitch deck, also videos and any kind of white paper publications, and in various information about your company and team. The entire application process will take you about 30 to 45 minutes based on whether you have this information readily available.
What is the selection process?
Right. So we have 4 review processes once you've submitted your application before the deadline, which is rolling applications, by the way. So the earlier you submit, we can already take you through the due diligence process. Once you submit your application, we will then pass your application and information through our due diligence process, where various experts from within the company and will review your application and see if we need to take it to the next stage and consider next steps in terms of partnership or a deal.
Can a company that has been in the G4A program previously apply for the growth track? Yes, absolutely. And we actually really encourage that because we know that, startups have a very high rate of growth. And we'd love to see, what new product launches you have or how much you guys have grown. And so, absolutely, please, we do encourage all of our earlier stage companies, at least, or even late stage companies to apply again. Do I own the intellectual rights to the software or technology once it's developed? So yes, if you already have a technology or software, obviously the IP will belong to you. However, in the case of joint ventures or co-creation, usually it means we'll be developing a product together. And once that happens, we'll both probably go into negotiations on what, on a case-by-case basis, on what that looks like and who owns, the IP rights on whatever is developed. So this is really case-by-case. But obviously, if you already have a product or a solution in the market, then obviously the IP it belongs to you. We prefer it that way. Hi, John. Thank you for the valuable information. Would you accept an advanced click dummy we currently use for UX testing as an MVP? I'm gonna, Bart, you can jump in. I'm gonna say why not, but I think one of the most important aspects is to have a solution that kind of addresses the challenges that we have very specifically. And so if it does, then I'd say why not?
Yeah, absolutely.
Is dementia still in the scope of your mental health challenge? So it is not. What we are looking for in terms of mental health, yes, yes and no, but I'm going to say no because specifically for our mental health challenges, we're going a little bit more into mindfulness as well, and also mental health in terms of depression and stress and anxiety and also sleep. And the reason why is because we are tying it very closely to chronic conditions that people may have, especially with the challenges that we have currently. So under cardiometabolic diseases, oncology, or women's health. But if your solution can address this kind of challenge, it could still be a mindfulness app, but if it could be some sort of a digital therapeutics for, depression, anxiety, even happiness and sleep, we're very interested in seeing those kinds of solutions. Does the company have to be located in a certain region? Bart, you want to take that?
Yeah. So no, short answer, we accept applications from all over the globe. We have no specific requirements in terms of where it should be located. But as you can see on our challenges, we do have some scalability preferences in terms of geographical region. So we're looking for, in most of our challenges, you'll see that US, Europe, and in some cases APAC as well, as part of scaling strategy for the company is what we're looking for.
Yep. Are there any more questions? It's a good time to ask. There's not many people, and we're here to answer anything and everything. But if not, I wanted to say, if you look on the current slide right now, you can find all of the information that Christina shared about our programs online at G4A.health. And if you have any other questions that may come up about the applications or our programs, or being a partner with us, then you can feel free to email us at info.g4a@bayer.com. We do check it every day. And then in addition, follow us and keep up to date with the news. But yeah, thank you everyone for joining our call. Bharat and I were very excited to answer some of your questions. We hope to see your applications very soon. And remember, as Bharat said, our applications, we do review them on a rolling basis. And so it's better to submit earlier than later. But at least by the end of July, you will most likely have heard back from us. Early to mid-July. So we're very excited on seeing your applications. Great.
We have
we have one more. Okay, great.
Would you consider digital biomarker-based therapeutics for mental health?
Yes, we would. So please apply.
Yeah,
we think digital biomarkers are actually very interesting. So we'd love to see what kind of solution you may have. Oh, and we have more. That's great. What would you recommend at a company pre-Series A stage? Not in the market, still in development, but already past the seed stage. Reagan, in our experience, we'd still say growth track. And here's the reason why. Growth track is really an opportunity for companies like yours to get some product feedback and mentorship from our executives and get connected to the right people to help you get to that go-to-market stage. Because for the advanced track, what we are really looking for are already commercialized products in the market with traction, with revenue. And so we'd say growth track would be the right fit for your company.
Do you want to have a product video with explanations of functions? Absolutely, Felix. So in our application portal, you'll see there is a section to upload any and all sorts of video information that can make it more easier and explain more better your solution to the experts would be super helpful. And please do upload that as well as part of your application.
Yeah, and also just in addition to what Bharat said, I mean, remember that we actually at some point in time look at over 1,000, easily 1,000 companies, but we do a very thorough job. And so if you do have a video, you know, it's not required, but if you do have one that explains your product or solution in a really compelling way, then, you know, even better for the reviewers and everyone a part of our due diligence.
Would you consider an app for CRF? Sophie, you want to take this?
Yes. So for CRF, I mean, I would say in short answer, it's a yes, because we do want to find, oh, something's ringing. Oh, okay. We do want to find solutions for clinical trials, but right now, I know we have teams looking for solutions for clinical trials for like outcome assessments and patient-required outcomes, but it's a little bit out of scope for us this year. However, I do know of colleagues who are looking for possible solutions, so I would say please apply, because what would happen then from our side is that we would be able to pass along this information if it doesn't, you know, fit one of our challenges. But usually people within Bayer would ask us, you know, do you guys have some kind of a solution for CRF? Then the first place we look is our applications pool. So you should definitely apply, because I do know that this is a need that we have. It's just you don't see it on the website now. But yes, short answer is yes.
No more questions. I think that's the last of our questions.
Great.
Any more questions, you can reach out to info.g4a@bayer.com. And also, you can also refer to our FAQs for some of the common questions.
Great. Yeah, thanks everyone. But yeah, feel free to email us. As I said, we check it very frequently. And then any other information that you may want to have about our programs, definitely visit our website. And on there, you'll also find an FAQ page. So feel free to check that out as well if you have any further questions. Great. Well, to our European potential partners, good morning and thank you for joining. For our partners in Asia and across the US, good evening. And thank you for joining us. We hope to see your applications very soon.
Absolutely.